When you book a cruise cabin, you might think that all rooms in the same category are basically identical. But here's the secret. Within every category, some cabins are simply better than others. I'm not talking about the expensive suites or high-end balcony cabins. I mean the ones that cost the same as the one you already booked, but give you a noticeably better experience. And the best part? You can often move into one of these prime locations without paying a single extra dollar. Think about it. On a cruise ship, location is everything. Let's say you're booked in an inside cabin. Some of those are way in the back of the ship, near the engine, where you'll hear a low hum all night long. Others are right under the pool deck, where chairs scrape across the floor at 6 in the morning. But if you're in the exact same inside category, you might find cabins midship on a lower deck, where movement is less noticeable and everything feels more comfortable. Same price, much better sleep. Here's another example: balcony cabins. Some are tucked at the very front of the ship where the wind is strong and you'll barely step outside. Others are closer to midship, where you can enjoy calm views of the ocean and quick access to dining, theaters, or the pool. Imagine walking just 2 minutes to grab pizza at midnight versus trekking across half the ship. It makes a big difference. So how do you score this upgrade? It's all about timing and asking. When you first book, look at the deck plans. Identify cabins in quieter areas, away from elevators, laundry rooms, or loud venues like nightclubs. Then, call the cruise line or your travel agent and ask if you can be placed in one of those. They usually won't charge you more because you're staying in the same category, just a better location. If you've already booked, don't worry. At check-in, head to guest services and politely ask if there are any better located cabins available in your category. Cruise lines often hold back a few rooms for operational reasons, and if they haven't been assigned, you might get lucky. Think of it like booking a hotel room. The corner room with a view of the skyline feels way better than the one facing the parking lot, but the price is the same, you just have to ask for it. On a cruise ship, location upgrade is your chance to make the most of your money, all without spending a dime more. Everyone dreams of stepping onto their private balcony in the morning, sipping coffee while the ocean stretches endlessly in front of them. The problem? Balcony cabins often cost hundreds, sometimes thousands more than an inside or ocean view cabin. But here's the secret most first-time cruisers don't realize. Sometimes you can score a balcony upgrade without paying a single extra dollar. Cruise lines know that balcony cabins are harder to sell in certain situations. For example, if a ship isn't completely full, those empty balcony cabins don't earn the cruise line any money sitting vacant. So instead of letting them go unused, the cruise line might quietly move up guests who already booked a lower category room. It's a win-win. The line can advertise more sold-out balconies next time, and you, the lucky guest, get fresh ocean air for free. So, how do you increase your chances? First, timing matters. Book your cruise early, when the ship is still filling up. People who reserve early are often first in line when upgrades are offered later. Second, be flexible. If you don't absolutely need to be next to Aunt Linda in cabin 3045, the staff has more freedom to shuffle you into an available balcony. Third, and this one is huge, be polite. At check-in or guest services, a friendly, "If there are any complimentary balcony upgrades available, we'd be so grateful," goes a lot further than demanding it. Now, don't expect miracles every time. Sometimes the ship really is packed, and balcony cabins are selling out months in advance. But the odds are better than you think. Cruise message boards are full of stories from travelers who went from staring at a wall in an inside cabin to watching dolphins swim alongside their balcony, all without spending another penny. There's also a little trick. Watch your booking online. If you see that inside and ocean view cabins are sold out, but balcony cabins are still available just before departure, that's a hint the line may upgrade passengers to clear out lower categories. Even if you don't get a full balcony, you might score what's called a French balcony or an oversized window. Both let in tons of natural light and ocean views, and they often feel just as magical as a true balcony. At the end of the day, imagine this. You're on your cruise, the sun is setting, and instead of fighting for space on the public deck, you're leaning on your own balcony rail, drink in hand, feeling the sea breeze. And the best part? Everyone around you assumes you paid a fortune, but you know the truth, you got it for free. When most people book a cruise cabin, they assume all rooms in their chosen category are exactly the same size. After all, if you paid for an inside or an ocean view, you're expecting something pretty standard. But here's the catch. Not every cabin is created equal. On almost every ship, there are hidden larger rooms that cost the same as the smaller ones. You just have to know how to find them. Cruise ship design is like a giant jigsaw puzzle. Architects have to work around stairwells, elevator shafts, storage areas, and even the curve of the ship itself. That means some cabins end up with more square footage than others, even though they're priced the same. Sometimes it's just a couple of extra feet, but sometimes the difference is dramatic. You might get space for a couch, a bigger bathroom, or just more room to breathe. So how do you spot these gems? The secret weapon is the deck plan. Every cruise line publishes detailed diagrams of their ships showing the exact location and layout of every cabin. If you study them carefully, you'll notice odd-shaped rooms or cabins at the corners. These are often the ones with extra space. For example, cabins located at the very front or back of the ship sometimes fan out to fit the curve, giving you bonus square footage at no extra charge. Here's a real-life example. A friend of mine once booked a standard ocean view on a major cruise line. By paying attention to the deck plan, she snagged a corner cabin that was nearly 30% bigger than the others in the same category. She had space for a love seat and coffee table, while her neighbors were squeezing past their beds just to get to the bathroom. Same price, totally different experience. If you're not into studying diagrams, here's another tip. Ask your travel agent. Experienced agents know which cabins have extra space because they've booked them before. A quick, "Are there any larger cabins in this category?" can save you hours of research. Now, what if you've already booked? Don't panic. Call the cruise line directly and ask if there are any oversized or accessible cabins available in your category. Sometimes accessible rooms designed for wheelchairs are slightly bigger, and if they're unassigned close to sailing, you may be able to switch. Of course, this depends on availability and the cruise's accessibility policy, but it's worth asking. Think of it this way: space is the ultimate luxury on a ship. Just having a little extra room to spread out makes your vacation feel less cramped and way more comfortable. And the best part? You don't have to spend a dime more, you just need to know the insider trick. Most cruisers step into their cabin, see the bed, the tiny bathroom, and the television, and assume, well, this is it. But here's the truth. Your cabin can be customized way more than you think, and many of those little extras are completely free. You just have to ask. Let's start with one of the most popular requests: mattress toppers and extra bedding. Cruise ship beds are designed to be firm, because firm mattresses last longer with heavy use. But firm isn't always comfortable, especially if you're used to something softer at home. If you call housekeeping and request a mattress topper, extra pillows, or even a duvet, most ships will provide it without charging you a penny. Suddenly, that hard bed feels like a cloud. Next, let's talk about refrigerators. Some cabins don't come with a mini fridge by default, especially in the lower category. But if you need one for medications, baby food, or just to keep drinks cold, you can request one. In many cases, the crew will bring one to your room at no cost. Even if they can't, they'll usually store medication in a medical fridge for you, free of charge. Now, here's a small but powerful perk: power strips and extension cords. Cruise cabins are notorious for having too few outlets, and in today's world of phones, tablets, and cameras, it's a real pain. Many cruise lines will provide a power strip if you ask. It might not be fancy, but it saves you from fighting over one outlet with your travel partner. Another overlooked freebie? Fans or air purifiers. Some people find the cabins stuffy, especially interior ones without windows. If you politely ask your cabin steward, they might be able to provide a small fan. It's not guaranteed, but it's surprisingly common. And don't forget small comforts like robes, slippers, or extra towels. You might think they're reserved for suites, but many lines will provide them upon request if supplies allow. Imagine lounging on your balcony with a plush robe, looking like you're living the luxury life without actually paying for the upgrade. The trick here is simple: ask nicely. Your cabin steward is your best friend on board. They handle dozens of rooms, but they also love making guests happy. A little kindness and appreciation go a long way. Remember, cruise ships are floating hotels, but unlike hotels, you're stuck on the same vessel for a week. The crew knows that keeping you comfortable means you'll have a better experience, which is good for everyone. So, the next time you walk into your cabin, don't settle for what you see. Think about what small changes would make your stay more comfortable and simply ask. More often than not, you'll be surprised at what you can get without spending a single extra dollar. When people think about room service on a cruise, they often picture a small tray of sandwiches and maybe a lukewarm cup of coffee. What they don't realize is that room service can feel a lot more luxurious, and in many cases, you can enjoy upgrades without paying an extra cent. Here's the first trick: breakfast in bed. Most cruise lines offer a free continental breakfast delivered straight to your cabin. That means instead of rushing to the crowded buffet at 7 a.m., you can mark your choices on a card the night before: coffee, juice, pastries, fruit, and wake up to a knock at your door. You're still in your pajamas, sipping fresh coffee while watching the sunrise from your balcony or even just your window. That little upgrade in experience costs nothing, but feels like pure luxury. Another secret? Special requests. Room service menus look simple, but often the kitchen can do more than what's printed. Want extra fruit on your cereal? 2 croissants instead of 1? A side of bacon with your eggs? Just ask. As long as it's within reason, the staff will usually accommodate. And the best part? They rarely charge for it. Some cruise lines even let you order full meals from the main dining room delivered to your cabin for free. This isn't always advertised, so it's worth asking your steward or calling room service directly. Imagine having a steak dinner or a plate of pasta served privately in your cabin while everyone else is dressed up in the dining room. Same food, but you get to enjoy it in your own space. Want to really upgrade the vibe? Ask for extras like ice buckets, wine glasses, or even a cheese plate. These aren't always listed on the menu, but they're usually available upon request. It's a simple way to turn your tiny cruise cabin into your own private lounge. Now, a quick tip. While the food itself is often free, some cruise lines have started charging small delivery fees during peak hours. It's usually just a few dollars, but if you order breakfast early or late at night, you can often avoid those charges. Check your cruise line's policy so you know the best times to order without fees. Here's the bigger point. Room service is one of the easiest upgrades you can get for free on a cruise. Too many people ignore it and fight for tables at the buffet when they could be eating in peace and comfort in their own cabin. If you're smart about it, you can turn a standard stateroom into a 5-star breakfast spot or a private dining suite, all without opening your wallet. One of the biggest surprises for first-time cruisers is how much dining shapes the cruise experience. Yes, the ship is packed with activities and entertainment, but at the end of the day, food is where people gather. The catch? Dining rooms and specialty restaurants can get crowded fast. But here's the good news. You can score better tables, quicker service, and even special menu options without paying a penny more. Let's start with the main dining room. Most cruise lines allow you to choose between traditional dining, same table, same time every night, and anytime dining, more flexible. The trick is knowing which one gives you the best upgrade for your personal style. If you like consistency, request a table near a window or in a quieter section. You'd be surprised how often they'll honor that request if you ask early. Imagine dining every night with a view of the sea instead of staring at the kitchen doors. Same price, much better vibe. Now, for those who prefer anytime dining, here's the hack. Avoid peak hours. Everyone rushes in around 6:30, 7:30 p.m. If you show up a little earlier or later, you'll often get seated faster and sometimes in a better spot. It feels like VIP treatment, even though you didn't pay for it. Another hidden perk? Special menus. Cruise lines regularly accommodate dietary needs, vegetarian, gluten-free, low sodium, but you don't have to be restricted to what's printed on the page. Want a double portion of shrimp cocktail? Ask. Craving a side of mashed potatoes even though it's not on tonight's menu? They'll usually make it happen. You're not paying extra, you're just taking advantage of the flexibility built into cruise dining. And don't forget about the buffet. Sure, it can feel like chaos at peak times, but if you know the layout, you can turn it into a hidden gem. Most buffets have satellite stations tucked away from the main line, like a pizza corner, deli counter, or dessert bar. These stations often serve the same food with shorter lines. It feels like a secret upgrade when you grab your plate in minutes while everyone else is stuck waiting. Here's one more insider trick. Ask about quiet dining rooms. Some ships keep smaller venues open during meal times that few people know about. They serve the same food, but with way fewer crowds. It's like stumbling onto a private restaurant hidden inside the ship. At the end of the day, dining upgrades are all about awareness and timing. You don't need to spend $50 at a specialty restaurant every night to feel special. With a little strategy like requesting the right table, eating off-peak, or exploring hidden venues, you can turn every meal into an upgrade. Cruises aren't just about food and cabins, they're floating entertainment hubs. Broadway-style shows, comedy clubs, live music, game nights, it's all included. But here's the secret. Even though the shows are free, not everyone experiences them the same way. With a few smart moves, you can get better seats, insider access, and an overall upgraded experience without paying extra. Let's start with theater shows. On big ships, these can rival productions you'd see on land, but seating is first come, first served. Most people wander in 5-10 minutes before showtime and end up in the back or behind a pole. The trick? Arrive 20-30 minutes early. Not only will you score prime seats in the center section, but you'll also avoid the last-minute scramble. It's like getting orchestra seats for free while everyone else settles for the balcony. Now, here's another tip. Talk to the entertainment staff. Cruise directors and activity hosts love enthusiastic guests. If you chat with them, ask questions, or participate in daytime games, they often recognize you later. And guess what? They might save you a spot, tip you off about special events, or even pull you on stage for interactive shows. That little bit of friendliness can turn a normal night into a memory you'll never forget. Don't overlook live music either. Many cruisers stick to the main venues, but ships often scatter smaller performances in lounges and bars. These can feel more intimate and personal, like a private concert. Sit up front, make eye contact with the band, and you'll feel like you've scored a VIP upgrade. Sometimes they'll even take requests or dedicate songs to you. Another overlooked perk is movie nights. Some ships host outdoor screenings under the stars. Most people grab whatever chairs are available, but if you bring a blanket or ask your steward for extra pillows, you can turn it into your own private movie lounge. The movie is free for everyone, but your setup feels like first class. And let's not forget about kids and family activities. If you're cruising with children, the kids clubs are already included. But if you ask about behind-the-scenes activities or special themed nights, you might discover extra events that aren't widely advertised. Think pajama parties, science labs, or character meet and greets, all at no cost. At the end of the day, cruise entertainment is designed to be fun for everyone. But with a little planning and effort, you can elevate your experience from just watching a show to front row. VIP feeling, unforgettable night. No extra dollars, just a smarter approach. When most cruisers think about the spa, they imagine hefty price tags, $150 massages, $200 facials, treatments that feel out of reach, unless you're ready to splurge. But here's the secret. You can still enjoy a taste of that spa and wellness luxury without paying extra. In fact, there are several free spa perks hiding in plain sight. First, let's talk about the spa tours. On embarkation day, most ships open the spa for free walkthroughs. They'll show off treatment rooms, saunas, and relaxation areas. And while they're hoping you'll book something expensive, you don't have to. Just taking the tour gives you a free sneak peek of spaces that many passengers never see. Sometimes they even offer complimentary mini treatments like a 5-minute chair massage, skin analysis, or sample aromatherapy session. It's their way of hooking you, but you can simply enjoy the freebie. Next up, fitness classes. Yes, many ships charge for specialized sessions like yoga or Pilates, but they almost always offer a few group classes for free. Morning stretch on deck, Zumba by the pool, intro to spinning, all included. You get the energy and motivation of a professional workout without the price tag. And honestly, doing yoga while watching the sunrise over the ocean feels like something money can't buy. Don't overlook the thermal areas either. While access to thermal suites usually comes at a cost, some ships allow limited free use during open house hours. Ask the spa desk when those times are. It's your chance to try out saunas, steam rooms, or heated loungers without paying for a full pass. Even outside the spa, wellness upgrades exist. The promenade deck, for example, is perfect for morning jogs or sunset walks with ocean views that make any treadmill back home look boring. And if you're into mindfulness, some ships host free meditation or wellness seminars. They may try to sell you products afterward, but you can still take the free relaxation techniques home with you. Here's a small but powerful tip. The spa staff often hosts raffles on the first day. Fill out a card and you could win a free treatment. Plenty of people ignore these, thinking they'll never win, but someone always does. Why not you? At the end of the day, the cruise spa doesn't have to be an expensive temptation you avoid. With a little strategy, you can sample the relaxation, join energizing classes, and soak up the wellness vibe for free. It's like sneaking into the luxury lifestyle without the luxury bill.